Hey, Dave from Mob Rules back again with another Tabletop Plus. This time, without consulting the internet. Screw you, internet! So I'm here to show you this easy, smooth guide to get smooth looking glass on your 40K fantasy models. Basically, it's super easy to take this and turn it into this with only 99 simple steps. So let's get to it, shall we? So with the release of Codex Imperial Knights, everyone wants to get their big toys on the table and wreck faces. But how is your princeps gonna know what he's doing if he doesn't have a light on in the cockpit? I mean, sure, he's hooked into a big machine, but what if it turns out that he's afraid of the dark? So we need to light that bad boy up. So, step one is to take Storm Host Silver and paint just the lens, okay? Now, I have already done this, so I can continue on past. But you paint this part in the center right here, and then you wash it with Nuln Oil, so you get a nice lip around the edge. Okay? Also, I recommend before starting any project of lenses or gems or anything like that, of finishing the rest of your model first. Because there is nothing worse than finishing up what you've done and having it look absolutely beautiful and going on to paint the rest of the model only to have, well, to ruin it, which I very much have done. So, on to step two. We're going to mix up our paints. Now, I use two blues for this, and I know Baharath Blue and Thousand Suns Blue. Baharath is not a standard paint. It's an edge paint for GW. It's more of a kind of a technical thing. It's a little bit different than you would normally do. So you need just a tiny little bit of it, okay? And you get it into your pot and you mix it up. Now, we're really gonna thin this out. So you need like two drops of water for blue. Like super thin. So basically it runs. I need a little bit more there, it looks like. Just a tad bit more water. Basically, if you tilt it, you know, you want to see it pooling up. So there's one. And then we'll get some more fresh water. Close up the Baharath. Shake up the Thousand Suns. And then pretty much just the same thing. Just get a bunch of water in there. You need to add a little bit more to this because it's a thicker paint. So just kind of go until you get the really, really thin consistency. So that when you are painting this on, it'll be super easy. So there we go. Kind of running just the way we want it. All right. So licking the brush. Listen, if you don't lick your brushes, you're probably doing it wrong. And I don't say that to be mean. It's just the easiest way to get a brush clean and back to a sharp point in a matter of seconds. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the Baharath Blue and we're going to kind of just paint the top half. Now you just kind of got to imagine there's an imaginary line across the middle. Okay? And you just kind of sketch it in there. And then you just paint it up. Now it may take you two to get to where you want to get to, but that's okay. It's, other than just taking a little bit of time, it's not really that difficult. Then you take the Thousand Suns and you do the exact same thing on the bottom, and it's okay to get it into that gap down there. May have gotten the Thousand Suns just a tad too thin. So the really nice thing, as I've said in the past, about when you get this so wet like this, is you can literally just take a clean brush and pull it right back up without it permanently damaging anything. See? It's already gone. And then you get the added joy of licking it off the brush, which, well, as I've already stated, everybody should be licking their brushes. Lick the brushes! Nothing wrong with it. I had somebody tell me once that the oils in the human body are actually some of the best for working with your brushes and with green stuff. So if you're doing green stuff, you can just lick your tools, I guess. I think is what he was trying to tell me. Anyway, so let's get that just a little bit thicker, and that's better. So we're just going to paint it on. And we're just going to kind of overlap the two colors, and we're going to do this a couple times. Till you get a nice all over coat on that silver. Why doesn't that want to take paint? What's going on there? Now, the reason for going darker on the bottom of the light is because that's just the way that I look at it. Technically, this is supposed to represent the way that light is kind of either shining through the lens bubble at an angle, since the model, rather than being, if this was representation of the top, it actually is more like this. So for me, the light is reflecting down and through. So we've got one coat of the Thousand Suns. Now we're just going to do another coat up here of this. And as you're going, just kind of work them together. Okay? And like I said, don't panic about getting too much paint to the top, or too much paint to the top, or too much paint to the bottom, or anything. Just, or, you know, on your hand, I guess. Just kind of blend it together. Nice, and so that you get a nice middle. This is also kind of a technique known as wet blending. But, and like if you get too much pooled up, again, take it right back off. And just keep going back at it for a little bit until you get a nice, get it right to where you want to get it. And you'll know when you're happy with it. It's really just kind of personal preference. So as we're working through it here, I'll continue with this, and we'll get the two colors blended up nicely, and I will come back to you when it's all said and done for the next step. And welcome back. So if you've kind of got stuff going on there, you notice it's just a little bit of the blue to the top and kind of a mix in the middle, and then the dark blue at the bottom. And you're ready to go for the next step. For me, which for me is Drakenhof Nightshade. But you know what, guys? You don't have to do blue on your lenses or gems or anything you're painting that you could use this with. The color of your choice is really it. You basically need just simply you need Stormhost Silver, or a silver of your choice. Doesn't have to be Stormhost. Kind of a lighter silver in color. And then you need a light shade of the color you want to make it, a dark shade of the color you want to make it, white, and a wash that is either made of your own choice of the colors that you're wanting or not. So at this step I'm at right now, I'm going to do Drakenhof Nightshade, and I'm just kind of going to give it a wash, and then it'll dry out, you know, like they do. Now you can do this wash a couple different ways. You can do an all-over wash, or you can do a pin wash. I'm just going to go all over the whole thing and then peel it back out of the middle and the top, because it's going to give it a nice color there. So we've gone all over, and now we're just going to take it right back off and work it out to the outside. So, and then clean it back up just a little bit. because shades are easy to move around. With a little bit of brush licking. Chris, if you're watching this, I need a sticker that says brush licking is not a crime. So that's what we've ended up with, the way the wash has settled around the edges. And now we just need to let this dry, which, as we've established in the past, is a long period of time. So I will be back to you, well, pretty much right now. But I will see you back here in about 20-25 minutes. Go have yourself a snack. That's what I'm going to go do. Alright, so after your wash is dry, that's pretty much what you're left with. A nice little fade, very simple, very easy. There's only one more step left to do, basically. And it's all up to you how much more bright you want it to be. Basically, you just kind of do another thin down layer of the Baharath blue. The Baharath blue. You just kind of take it and hit the top part here just a little bit if you want really thin down. So you kind of just bring that little bit of edge right back up, really carefully. Just a little bit to do that. And then kind of just smooth it out. And then you take your white and get a little bit on your brush. Take a little bit off. And you just kind of hit it for a lens flare dot. I like to do 2 of them, roughly. Something to kind of just make it seem like light's coming through it. And then I usually come up to the top here and just kind of give it just like a little bit around the edges there, to give it just that last little bit to make it shine up top. And that's pretty much it. And you're done. So, there you go. So I guess it wasn't 99 steps after all. It's easy to do and adds a little bit of panache to your models on the tabletop. And the basic principles used here when you're filming this can be used, like I said, to paint the gems on your space elves, your Eldar, or on any of your fantasy models. Vials on plague marines. Any model you kind of want to have that translucent kind of glowing effect on it. And you know what, if you like this, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And well, if you didn't like this, I'm sorry. I promise next time I'll just listen to the internet and do what they tell me. Anyway, I've been Dave with Mob Rules, and I hope you have a great day.